Okay. Oh, it's cool. What actually do you think about England? Do you like England?
Nah, not really.
No?
Nah, not really. To be honest, it's, you know, with English culture, it's something that I find very difficult to agree with, especially like on a political level.
Oh yeah.
Because of, you know, the way that we've been in this mix of a whole lie over like a Brexit situation, over a political situation.
What do you think about that Brexit?
It's a load of rubbish. You know, it's not something that I really feel is going to result in any difference of any change. I actually feel like
good question. I just missed it. Yeah. About the Brexit question.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you would like to listen? Yeah, of course, no problem.
Just to hear the...
yeah. Oh, where are you from?
Turkey.
Oh, nice.
You?
Oh, Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
And
Putin.
obviously England.
Putin, yeah. Russia, Putin, vodka, babushka.
Yeah, vodka.
You wanted a stereotype. You know, so with the Brexit thing, I personally feel that it's just another reason to divide people further. And I've actually looked into it recently, and something that won't really go into a lot of foreign media from an English person is I actually looked into the way of where and how those votes were made. So near me there's a town called Great Yarmouth, a very old school backwards town full of a lot of, you know, not so higher class people, shall we put it. And with those people, they were the ones that majority voted over 70% for us to leave the country. But whereas you go to different towns and different areas where it's more populated with different cultures and different people, the vote was the complete opposite. You know, and it just shows that if you're going to agree with 52% of ignorance because someone says, I want it this way, I don't want it to change, I want to be on my own, I'm not going to do anything that's going to help the world, that's what you're going to get. If you actually look at it in a different manner, that actually has a bigger connection, breaking down countries, barriers, walls, names and labels, you actually end up getting to a point where we connect on different levels that it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter where we come from, it doesn't matter where we live, it doesn't matter where we stay, and it doesn't matter where we go. What actually matters is, in our generation, and especially coming into your generation as a younger guy from me, there's a lot of fucked up shit we need to sort out. And I'm talking ocean cleanups, I'm talking cleaning the world up, sorting out all those footprints that we've left behind or have been left behind from an older generation before me. So I feel that actually a lot of people within my culture and my upbringing were not taught the right things from our elders to actually care for the world, the planet. It's self-preservation, it's conservation. You know, how many parents just say, yeah, let's just go chuck that in the river, let's just go chuck that there, let's just go chuck that here. And nobody cares, and nobody's actually conscious enough to realise the effect that makes, and that's what's sad about it.
In short, the Brexit will be voted?
Who knows? I mean, our whole cabinet's disbanding at the moment and breaking down, all because of people's opinions.
Because the pound is also...
No, but take it more basic than that. Because of opinion. Not because of, we know if we do this it will get a better result. No, it's based on an opinion that they think it will be better if we separate certain things off. And actually, the reality of the situation is, England, for a start, will have deals that will go for America and China and Japan. We'll actually potentially get to a point where we'll have more chemicals in our food in the next 5 years than we've had in the last 10. And I think that's scary. You know, I think that's a scary problem. I think that's a big problem, you know, for me. Like, my nutrition, what I eat is very important to me and should be important to other people. So in the last year and a half, I decided to become vegetarian because I cannot stand the torture of animals that happens from mass production when the sheer fact is that mass production is overproduced to a point of waste every single week. So do we need to kill 20 pigs if only 5 pigs are getting eaten? No, we don't.
Good luck for England.
We need it.
Yeah. Have you ever met Russian people and have you ever drink with Russians?
Not really.
No, really?
No, not really. To be honest, like...
You need to do this.
It sounds like a good idea, I can't lie. But no, sort of with like the travels I've done over the last few months, I've opened myself up to a world where I've met people from Holland, from Morocco, from Chile, from America. You know, a certain British guy that then moved to America and is now doing big things in Prague after trying to make it in LA. You know, it's the diversity of people. I mean, especially where I live, it's a small town with a small town mentality.
Is it expensive to live in your town?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's actually average. I'd actually say like living costs of food and stuff are actually cheaper than Sweden.
Yeah.
So and that's not difficult.
How much money you need to have for your small town to live, like to rent, for example, house?
Oh, you easily need like just over £1,000, you know, £1,000 or so pounds a month. You know, rent you're sort of talking about £400 to £500, depending on a small place. Obviously, then you've got bills, electric, water, gas, council tax.
Yeah.
You know, the reality of the situation is, I don't think that living costs are ethical anymore, and I don't think they've been ethical in England for quite a while, where you have to work a job where after you're taxed, you're earning at least £1,500 a month, because otherwise it's not worth it and you're not going to live very well.
But okay, I understand.
So yeah.
And would you like to visit Russia?
I'd love to visit Russia. To be fair, you know, I'm more than open to seeing every country on this planet, regardless of things that have happened there, regardless of that, because until you actually go there and live a moment there, you really cannot try to imagine how other people live, how other societies work, and how they work together. I mean, being here in Sweden today has been pretty strange.
Yeah.
To be fair, to see like how different it is, but then you walk up a street and you've got Louis Vuitton, you've got Gucci, you know, it's ridiculous the amount of like what I call like higher end brands and stuff here. And to be honest, you know, like my trip costs less than one item in a place like that. So
I think you need to like Chuck Palahniuk. Do you know his politic about brands? It's like do you know Chuck Palahniuk? It's like
no, I don't know of him, but when you're talking about brands, I understand what you mean. So.
No, have you ever heard about Chuck Palahniuk? Yeah, no. It's like his movie I think you watched it. It's about Fight Club.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure,
it's a script by Chuck Palahniuk.
Okay.
And he in his books and his politic he wrote about brands, about people with muscles. That ideal person is person with muscles. What the fuck are you doing, guys? brands, it's a piece of shit. It's like shows.
It's a way of showing off, basically.
Yes, it's like show. It's like show for other people. It's not matter what you wear. You can wear, for example, this T-shirt. It costs €3. It's exactly, normal.
Yeah.
And like this T-shirt by Louis Vuitton, it will maybe cost $1,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That's what I mean. I mean, with myself, obviously, you know, when we've had an earlier conversation today, you know, I spoke about a clothing label that I'm bringing out, and one big thing about my clothing label is actually not making it too expensive, actually making it ethically priced. And my bigger plan is to try and make a decent profit of money off that label, so I can actually help the world, you know, to do ocean cleanups, to do ocean conservation, and
cool.
actually
it's cool.
think forward about what we're going to do with the world next. I mean, you know, of course we consider there's been a lot of improvements within our lifetime of how things have changed in that manner, but there's always going to be that control, there's always going to be that richer thing that's always going to get a yes, it's always going to get something like that, and a massive thing that you can always say is it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah. What's the European country is the most lovely for you, lovely place for you?
I'd probably say actually, like at places I've been lately, I have a big love for Germany.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, I think Germany's massive. You know, I think it's so diverse in the way that the different cultures. I mean, of course, there's been some hard times in history there, but I actually feel like with the trip that I made to Bremen recently, the people were fantastic. The locals that were there, asking for directions wasn't a problem. I even got to meet a few of the youth players for the Bremen team as well. So yeah, for me, Germany was fantastic, and I'll happily go back there again.
Oh, I was in Dresden for 2 weeks.
Sorry, what?
I was in Dresden for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I also visited again Leipzig, Berlin, and for me, Germany it's like comfortable. Germany has comfortable cities. Yes, it's comfortable. Like a lot of roads for velo bikes. Yeah, and
definitely.
it's cool. But for me, it's like too quiet to live there. It's not like. For example, when you live in Moscow is so big, and there are a lot of people, and also we have transport level, and a lot of people walking. And when I was in Dresden, it's like, for example, when you are walking at evening, you just can meet 1 or 2 people for 1 kilometer, and it's what the fuck? It's not for me. And when I visited Copenhagen and Sweden, it's more like chilling cities for the same industry, like in, for example, St. Petersburg, and the same maybe atmosphere like in Moscow. And of course, Copenhagen for me was so expensive because prices in Moscow is cheap.
Sure.
And Sweden, my friends told me that Sweden is so expensive too, but when I visited it and I go to McDonald's to eat something, I was shocked that hamburger costs like in Russia. And that's why I really like Sweden and Sweden price, Sweden atmosphere, and that it's Sweden. Stockholm is building at the sea. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, literally, I've only been in Stockholm for half a day so far, and from what I've seen from already, it's just an absolutely stunning place.
Price are like Russia here?
Huh?
The price are like Russia?
No, not like Russia. Maybe more expensive. But not
so much.
Yes, not so much, because I was in Paris and I was shocked about prices there. They like slippers and it's cost like 100 euro, and I just walking around and what? For example, in Russia you have slippers for some boxes, and it's that's why.
But here should be more expensive than France.
There?
Yeah.
No. Because we were in France and we went to supermarket, and the prices, I was really shocked.
Very big, yeah.
Yes, it's so very
much
big.
more expensive.
Yes, I saw prices at soda, and it was like €3, and I was for cola, and what? Little bottle. And in Paris, I didn't eat much. I just bought a pack of macaronis, and just cook it in my microwave. Yeah. And really, I think the worst. I visited in this trip, in this month, I visited 7 countries, and the most worst country that I visited was Paris. Yes.
The most expensive one.
Most expensive. I didn't like policy of immigrants, because I like a politic when you give jobs to people and they earn money. But in Paris, where you are walking near the Eiffel Tower, there are a lot of black people that, for example, you're just lying near the Eiffel Tower, and every 2 minutes guys will came to you and say, would you like to little Eiffel Tower for €1? And you say, no, thank you, I would like to chill. And every minute or 2 minutes, guys came to you and asked for that. And near Eiffel Tower, in Moscow, for example, in Red Square, we have a lot of policy that look for
Security.
for securities. Yes, they are looking for homeless people, and you can't lie in Red Square. You can chill, but not lying and sleep. And in near Eiffel Tower was like people who sell different stuffs, and it shocked me. For example, it's maybe 50 meters to Eiffel Tower, and people like sell glasses on the carpet. And I really,
that's been going on for a long time. Long time, yeah. I've been to Paris many times myself in the past, and you know, there is that side of it. There's also the side of it where like little kids come and beg you for the food you're eating while you're eating it, and you're like, really? Do you need to do that? Don't think so, mate. No. So, you know, I know what you mean with that. You know, there's a certain decorum with things like that, and I actually find that, and again, it's not to be really stereotypical, I find that when you're walking down sort of like the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and you're down near that, there's just no politeness at all. There's no sort of stand back, and I have to admit actually that I've actually found in Sweden that actually like the local people here are actually quite bluntly rude.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if you're standing there near that door. They're going in the fucking door no matter what you fucking do. So get out the fucking way. You know, and it's just like that. It's so automatic. It seems so automatic, just over and over again, with like someone's going there, they're here, they're there, they're there, so quickly. Whereas like I actually felt that like Sweden would maybe be more relaxed, and I think I was wrong about that.
I really, when I was in Amsterdam, I just was shocked about vela bikes there, because when you're walking, it's like a lot of vela bikes. I have never seen in other countries.
I've been to
and
Amsterdam myself,
really,
so I know,
it's a lot of angry people on their vela bikes. For example, you're just walking, and you forgot that you're in Amsterdam, and you're just walking for a vela bike road, and they say, "Fuck you! What are you doing?" And it's.
I've got the best story for this video ever, and it has to go in there, and I'll make sure it does. When I was in Amsterdam years ago, there's a bridge, like an old school, like, you know, sort of brick bridge with tram lines, bike lanes and traffic lines, and this road is so wide, right, that, and basically, you know, I'd smoked a little bit of the devil's lettuce when I was there, and I was crossing the road, and I was talking to my friends, I wasn't really paying attention, and as I turned to the right, there was a cyclist literally here. And I had two choices, and it was either take the hit or just lean your shoulder in. And I decided to lean my shoulder in and just took this guy bang completely straight off his bike. And he was actually really polite about it. And I was like, really? Like, bro, I just took you off your bike. Like, I could have took the hit. I was in the wrong. I literally just leant my shoulder in, KO'd this guy off his bike. I kind of helped him up. I felt bad. But honestly, it was one of the funniest things that happened when I was out there. So,
Okay. What's your plan to Stockholm? What will you do?
What's that?
What will you do at Stockholm? Would you like to visit something? Have you got plans or no?
Well, while I'm here in Stockholm? Basically, when I booked the trip, I kind of just booked it cheap, and you know, I didn't really pay attention to what was going on here when I booked it. But I'm going to be attending a concert at Groningen tomorrow. Millencolin are playing live, and they're basically like an old school skate rock band that are kind of like Offspring. So yeah, looking forward to that definitely. And I've only got really one like full day before I then fly home on Saturday. So for me tomorrow, it's about, you know, going to the old town.
I was there.
You know, going to see a bit of that. As I've seen other parts of the city today, I don't think I'm really going to scratch the surface here in 2 days of what you can see and what is possible here. But you know, to come and see a concert, to have that moment here, and have a good look around, I'm very happy to do. So yeah.
Have you ever been in Asian countries?
No, not yet.
Because I would like to visit it. I think it's like different culture. I would like to maybe visit, of course, I would like to visit China, I would like to visit Japan, I would like to visit India.
My list of countries is extremely long. I mean, you know, you're talking, I want to go to like Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, you know, I want to see that side of things more than anything. I've always had a dream of going to Australia and actually, you know, scuba diving at the Great Barrier Reef is one of my biggest dreams to do, which I haven't achieved yet, but I will. And yeah, for me, like, you know, I've met a couple of people in America now. One of the guys I've met is in Texas when I was out there years ago. Met a couple of girls out there who were from Tampa. And I'd really like to see more of America at different places. All I know of America personally is Florida, Orlando, and let's be honest, it's very commercial, it's very built up, it's, you know, it is what it is. But I would really like to see more things like San Francisco, real Texas. I'd like to, you know, see more of the southern places as well, and get a good mix of like what America's like, because as much as I know a lot about America, each place is very individual.
Yeah,
you know, the personalities that I have and what they do.
In Russia, a lot of people would like to visit America, and like I think because of American dream. Because a lot of people in Russia think about the political situation in Russia is not so comfortable as in Europe.
You're spying on America anyway, huh?
No. A lot of people think that politics in Europe, for example, is more comfortable for them. And
not when you're fixing elections.
When you didn't visit any countries, you think that wow, it's like Europe is like heaven in my life. If I go to Europe, I will have like a lot of money and other things. And when you have real situations in life, and I think when, for example, when I will visit America, I will. My stereotypes about that country will destroy it, because
I think actually the people that live there will probably confirm the stereotypes for you more than you would imagine, because that's actually like in Prague when I met a couple of American guys, they actually were very quite straightforward of people from here are like this, people from here are like that. Because you do have such a division over, you know, different rules in the same country in so many different places. So
it's like different
it
districts.
Is bizarre.
With,
it's very bizarre. You know, in a weird way, you sort of think it wasn't the same country all over, but it is. So it, you know, it kind of doesn't really make sense in that regard. But I think the diversity over how big America is. I mean, one of the places I actually would like to visit a lot, and you always hear good things about the people, is actually Canada. I'd love to visit Canada and you know, see that properly myself.
My sister visited Canada, and she said that it was cool. I would like to visit Britain too. But what places should I visit, for example, for first time? It's London?
So what, Britain? No, I see, this is the thing, I suppose, like, if you want commercial and you want things that you'll get in other European countries, yes, go to London. I mean, London's got a lot to offer, don't get me wrong. But there's more to England than London. I mean, personally, like, I haven't gone up north much, so I would rather want to see more of, like, Manchester, Birmingham, you know, the more northern places. And to be fair, you've got Scotland not far away with some mountains there, you know, you've got Ireland, you've got Wales as well, and I think like in Britain you've got a lovely amount of diversity from when you go from north to south and vice versa. So, you know, for me, don't go to Ipswich. Definitely don't go there. I've lived there far too long. I would never recommend anyone going there at all ever. No, I just genuinely wouldn't. But at the same time, you know, there's other places like I would recommend Cambridge. I would genuinely say to anybody going to England for the first time to see some actual, like, you know, real good history, culture, be in a place that's, you know, full of cyclists, full of very well educated people, much diversity, of course. Cambridge is a beautiful city, especially with like the canals and stuff that you have and the boat. You know, it's a fantastic place, and I'd always recommend it.
For me, as for like a Russian guy, it's too amazing to see like campus of Cambridge and different kind of university in England, because in Russia we have Moscow, and the most the most powerful university is situated in Moscow, and all people from all our country, if they would like to be like super good lawyers, and their dreams to go to Moscow and live there and to have education there. But the system of, for example, America, or I think Britain too, that different universities situated in different cities,
Yeah.
For example, I think, and good university situated, you can, for example, 2 or 3 universities in Britain who will have for being a good lawyer or for being a good
I mean, you kind of obviously do in that way, you know, in that respect. You kind of have obviously like where you have Cambridge education, you don't have Oxford, you know,
but I think it's
and
too
other
expensive,
places
of
that go
course.
with that. See, the problem is, if we're going to get slightly political on this as well, if you want to look at like the England state of affairs when it comes to education, I think it's just the biggest backwards load of rubbish I've ever heard in my life, because we're still paying the Dutch for trains that have already been made, have already been built, they've been built for years. And the Dutch actually make videos that mock us because we pay for the Dutch people's education. Yes, you heard it, and it's just true. The English pay for the Dutch education. And then they charge someone like me to go and finish my last year at art, if I wanted to fulfil that year in a college, not a university, in a college, over £5,000. Is what I would have got charged if I'd fulfilled my last year for 1 year of college. That's not including then if I go and do fine art at university. That's not including the higher education of that part and actually making it into that myself. So, yes, England's education system is absolutely rubbish. It's about time we abolished. It's about time we abolished, you know, exams. You know, why are people doing exams when you do a year's worth of work and you sit in front of a piece of paper for an hour that you tick boxes on there? Is that the summary? Is that the whole thing of your year or 2 years' work is based on an hour ticking A, B, C or D on a tick sheet, answering questions like that you can fake, you can guess? Because I didn't do my education properly in the end because I didn't like how my teachers were. So I happily sat there with a multiple choice exam in front of me and I just ticked whatever I wanted, didn't even look at the questions, handed it in and somehow I got a C. So how did I get a C? I don't even know what I got right or wrong, mate.
For example, at my university I have system of 10 bells. For example, you have 1, 2, 3 and still 10. But usually our teachers don't give us 10s because it's like super deal level and it's not it's like mark that you can't get anyway.
You know, some of the things that like, you know, this is quite personal, but some of the things that failed me in education was when I was, you know, in my last years and I was doing graphic design and my folder work for my graphic design was an A star. My teacher was intentionally meant to put me basically on the higher test, which is just one more question with 15 or 20 more minutes to finish that question. I got the highest mark I could get on the foundation exam with an A star folder work, which meant that my total grade ended up as a C. Now how on God's green earth do you have an A star folder of work that you've done for a year and then by the side of it you have an exam that you passed every question with, you weren't put in for the higher exam, so you combine in an A star with a C. That makes a B in my language, but no, I ended up with a C.
Excuse me, do you mind talking in another place just because we want to go to sleep?
Okay.